What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Geekin on Tech. I am your host, Didge, and with me, as always, is the homie, Mr. Nerd with the Tech, Trayvon. How you doing today?
Well, good. The end of the week. We got some stuff to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming. The push. I feel like it's coming.
Yeah, you
We're gonna start
figure
it now.
what Google I/O is next month. WWDC will be the month after.
Yes.
We'll go talk about it later. Actually, it's probably our first topic, but there's rumors that a Samsung Galaxy Unpacked is coming in July. So there are a
A
ton
little
of things.
earlier than normal. Yeah.
Yeah, uh, it seems like there's a reason for that.
Hmm.
Um, but like you said, yeah, it's definitely coming. The summer months are definitely where we start getting a lot of the just the new tech news and stuff like that. And then obviously AB is this weekend, so there's been some more like camera related tech stuff this week. Disney had their whole like at CinemaCon, Disney unveiled Disney Vision. So there's been some stuff, but the bulk of it definitely will be coming in the coming months.
Yeah.
But I guess let's jump right in with the first topic. I already kind of previewed it. Samsung. The rumor is that Samsung is going to have their next Galaxy Unpacked on July 22nd, which they'll obviously unveil the Galaxy Z Fold 8. But along with that, there are reports that they'll be unveiling the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide, which is their answer to the upcoming iPhone Fold.
Hmm.
Much like how iPhone was coming out with the Ultra Slim phone last year, and Samsung rushed out their Galaxy Edge. They're doing the same thing this year, allegedly, with their Galaxy Fold 8 Wide and a return of the S Pen, which apparently is missing from the foldable devices. But I thought it was on the S26 Ultra.
It is, but it took it away from the last fold.
Okay,
But the problem with it in general though is it only worked on the outside. Like when you
okay,
have it closed before. Like the one I have, it only works on the outside. So, of course, the inside is off the screen, so
right,
you can't, it didn't No, it did work. It didn't have the digitizer in it, so it didn't even recognize if you tried it on the inside.
okay.
So,
So we do have just renderings. I don't think these are they might just be leaked designs. Oh, let me actually change this so you can look at it better. So these are sort of leaked designs of how it looks. It
mhm,
looks, a little more stumpy,
yeah,
kind of closer in line with the iPhone one.
hmm,
And I think the one thing I like with this, and granted, that might have just been video that they were showing on the iPhone design, is I could see where this will probably be better for 16 by 9 video, where it does like even on the iPhone one, it still felt like it had like very large bars on the top and bottom, whereas I don't think that it would on this, just from the way that it looks a little bit more wider. So I feel like you could have a better like aspect ratio.
I thought that was the point of the way the iPhone is shaped because
Yeah, it
the video
is.
I saw, it looked like it filled up most of the screen. The video
Oh, the one that I saw it didn't. So like the one that I saw, and let me see if I could find it.
because there's some real huge black bars on the one I have right now inside. Sometimes, depending on
Is
what you're
it?
watching. Yeah. So.
Let me see if I could find it. The one that I had saw, it still had a decent amount. And maybe that's just to be expected. This is actually
Now I'm curious about Netflix did that thing where it went this week. Was it this week? Where it went full screen with the original aspect
Mhm.
ratio for TV. It did that this week.
Oh, did it? No, I did not know that.
It was like when I think it was like they were going when they were talking about like Vanessa's like when he met her, I think it went full
Oh,
or
okay.
whatever during that part. It's just during that part. And I was like, oh wait a minute. Did it do it? Let me see what that would look like on here.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm most curious about. So like
Because the what was it? The Zack Snyder's Justice League was interesting on here. You know
Oh,
that, remember that aspect ratio he had for that? He had an IMAX ratio the whole time. Um, it's always cool when I see them do stuff like that.
yeah, I always enjoy it, and especially like when you're playing around with the aspect ratio, it adds movement to the film, like to whatever you're watching, actually. But like,
Like, cause it takes up. You can't really see it, but it takes up
I was gonna
almost
say, yeah,
all of it.
oh yeah, because it should
Cause
probably be 4:3.
yeah, so it's really cool. It takes up like almost all of it. It has, real thin black bars on the top and bottom for the Zack Snyder Justice League.
Right.
Most stuff though has the big bars because it,
Hmm.
you know. So I was that's what I was like. Oh, that'd be cool for it to look, actually use the whole screen, at least
Yeah, and
most of it.
that's kind of what I was worried about with the iPhone one. I'm trying to see if I could find it again. I can't find the actual
Yeah, that's what made me excited about it because it looked like it would fill the whole screen up.
in
Um,
if I find it, I'll have
let me
to send it
find.
to you.
Yeah, I'm going to Daredevil right now just to see if I can find that scene. I didn't think to try it on here. Let's
Then
see.
I guess just though in general, are
Wait,
you interested in? I know you said you're looking for the iPhone one. Are you interested at all in the Samsung, like the wide fold? Like,
I don't think so. No, no.
interesting.
I think I'm kind of. I
Is
might
it
be
because
done.
you already have the one?
Yeah, I'm like, and also this isn't up for upgrade. So I was like, yeah, I don't care. Like
No, that's
I
fair.
want to see because I'm gonna see what features I might possibly get.
Right.
But other than that, no.
No, I get that. I mean, I think
Okay,
it's one of those
it
things.
expands a little bit.
It
It's
does.
not like, yeah, it expands a little bit, but not enough. Not like the Zack Snyder Justice League one did.
Okay.
So it does expand for the oldest, like when they're going to back, uh, the back in the, they go back to the old show
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks a little bigger, but it still has black bars.
Yeah, I think the thing that I was expecting and hoping for both of them is that the entire screen would basically. I don't need any bars, and I don't think you're going to get that with either of them. I do think that this one is a little shorter and wider, where you might be able to get less, but
I'm
I have to look
curious.
at them side
Let's
by
see.
side again to double check.
I'm curious. I mean, I'm definitely gonna look at the event because I'm gonna
Yeah,
see what they do with it. Um, and I mean, you never know, they could surprise us. But like, yeah, look, the whole screen. They're good, like you said, they're trying to do it before
it, it's
Apple.
it's definitely a hey, we got the device out first, and then Apple. No one's going to say that Apple copied them on this
No,
design because
no,
the rumors have been out for way too long.
yeah,
But at the very least, they can go. But we got ours out first, and
and you
will it
did.
influence some people to buy? Who knows? It's one of those things.
I really, at this point, I don't. I think whatever ecosystem you're in, that's the one you stand in, unless you have both. That's kind of how I feel like right now. I don't feel like anybody's gonna be, if you're on Apple, jumping ship to Android. If you're on Android, jumping ship to Apple. I just don't think that's happening anymore. Um,
So actually, oh, I just saw an article about this. It is still happening, just not from Apple to Android. Android. Let me see if I could find it again. They were saying that Android users are still switching to iPhone much faster than iPhone users are switching to Android, and the rate was something crazy.
why would you? I mean, fine, I guess, but it's just
Well,
like
it's because of Google. There's a whole thing about just getting away from Google, which is very interesting to say, hey, I'm going to get away from Google and I'm going to go to Apple. But I don't really,
but that's funny to me because, like, I guess if you're not in the know, that doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're not in the know, I guess it makes sense to you. But for us, it doesn't make any sense because they get ready to use Google Gemini for
Mhm.
Siri, and then Google is their default in their browser. Like, you're not getting away from it. There's still Google apps on there. Like, it's not. I don't know. I don't know. what does that mean? Get away from it. Like you, if you just don't like Android, sure,
Yeah,
but
and to be fair, so this survey was done by a company called Cell Cell. I don't really know too much about them actually, but I guess they've been doing phone brand loyalty surveys for years. And what they found, granted, this is all U.S. based. I should put that because I think it changes a lot when you go globally. But
right.
they found that iPhone loyalty was at 96%, which is up from it was at about 91% in 2021. Interestingly enough, you look at this chart, and let me see if I can just open it and then share this tab. So interestingly enough, as you look at this chart, you see iPhones have sort of always been steadily increasing. Where it's like I don't know what happened in 2021 with Samsung and Google that people were like, "Yo, I might not want them." Like that's an interesting.
It
That's an
has been.
interesting.
I was trying to think how many pixels has there's been. Okay, no, there've been quite a few pixels. Okay, now that I think about it, we're on 10 now.
And so
Um, hmm,
the thing that I was saying with you, and this might strictly be Google. Now that I'm looking at it, um, I don't know 100% if it's Android because I do see that there's. Oh no, it says Android loyalty is at 86.4%. So they must be averaging the two.
hmm.
And it says switching is at 13.6%, whereas iPhone switching stands at 3.6%. So that's where they're getting the four times as likely. Now, 13% of your entire base isn't crazy, but you are kind
Oh,
of upset when you're looking at okay, our competitor is only getting about four.
hmm.
So
Oh, it's weird because I feel like
I
it's like Google's probably sitting to the side, like, haha, we still getting all the money for Apple. Like it just
mhm.
doesn't, like you buy another iPhone, you still have our search engine. Like you still, I don't know, like you're.
So it does like if you scroll down, like they do switch it to they do go versus operating system agnostic to brand,
Mhm,
and it Google is the one that is getting the higher end. And now 10% of Android or 10% of Samsung users say that they will most likely switch brands, but that doesn't necessarily mean that all of those are going to switch from Samsung to an iPhone. They're
mhm,
just going to not get another Samsung.
mhm,
Whereas on here, Google does say 13%. So either way you're slicing it, people are trying to leave Google
mm.
and thus leaving Android.
Good luck to them.
I mean,
I
yeah.
don't know, cause that's a process. That's a listen.
Well,
uh,
that's the thing though.
It's getting
Both of
better.
these have like both systems have talked to time and time again about how we're making it easier for you to switch.
Mhm.
And it is obviously because of that. So I don't know, it's interesting. I think this device is going to be cool. I don't know necessarily how much it's going to sell versus the Z Fold 8.
Yeah.
Like that one has its dedicated, I guess, brand loyalty. And I feel like the people who like that form factor aren't going to want to go to this one if they have the option. Now, if they weren't going to give you a wide or they weren't going to give you like the regular fold and they were just like, hey, this is how the next one looks, yeah, of course it'll sell. Because I think the people who like the fold just like the fold. But
I mean, that's always been the main complaint since the first fold was how, narrow it was. That was always the problem. And I remember that when Google came out with theirs, it was like, oh, we like that form factor a little better, And
mhm,
then they kind of changed to do what Samsung did, which didn't make sense to me. I was like, y'all had a difference. I don't understand. And then was it OnePlus? They have theirs. They're open.
mhm,
That was a great form factor. But they only made one of them. I guess it didn't make it. I guess it didn't sell well, so they didn't make a second. That's been like years now. And now I guess now they feel a little bit pressure
sure,
because Apple will get ready to do it now. Um, I'm curious because it's weird because like usually Apple uses Samsung screens. It's so funny like all this like when you think about what makes up these devices and you're switching, but you're not really. It's funny. I don't know. It's like you still using like a Samsung product, kind of like the screen is still there. I don't know.
right.
It's funny. I'm curious to see what. the differences are between this and the wide. Like you can't make the price that much higher than the regular one.
Hmm.
It's
I don't know if there will be too much of a price difference.
you would
Nah,
hope not,
I,
but
I don't see why
um
there should be too much of a price difference. I should say
that's the problem. Like these things aren't getting more affordable. Cause
no,
that's the thing that people, that's when it gets more affordable, then they'll become more popular. Right
yeah,
now, it's not. They're just too expensive for people to be like, yeah, let me go for it. Something experimental,
no. I
you know.
mean, that's not going to happen. Samsung actively started raising their prices.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. And I'm very curious how much this Apple one's about to be. I'm very curious because like this is the phone. You want people to buy this thing.
Hmm.
The Apple Vision Pro was a whole different story. Like
Right?
that price came out, I was like, yeah, that's not for us.
No.
like that's for the influencers. That's yeah. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. Like I said, I think it's one of those things where I'm curious where the foldable market's going to go. It's obviously getting more healthy. It's getting healthy as a stretch. It's getting more populated because I don't know how many people are opting in to buy a fold versus the standard slab phone. So we'll see. We'll see what happens as once Apple gets its head in the ring, and then it just starts. More people are starting to be aware and like actively starting to buy them. Once you start getting enough people who are all in on it, then we'll see where it goes and where the price goes. Like I said, the fact that Samsung is raising the prices of their devices and they're a component producer is kind of worrisome because it's like,
Yeah.
who you, why are you raising your prices?
Now that I think what'll happen is now since Apple's gonna do it, as much as I don't want to admit this, once Apple does something, usually it becomes more mainstream.
Yeah.
So once they do it, and a lot of these other companies figure out, oh, okay, so the screen technology has been figured out. If
Mm-hmm.
all these rumors of Apple saying there's not going to be a crease, because that's the thing people bring all the time. But I always say if you use it, you will not notice that at all. Like it doesn't bother you unless you
Sure.
deliberately touch down, you rub down that part on purpose. But other than that, like it's not something that bothers you or you even notice. So it's like now I'm trying to see what happens once Apple gets in and Apple's on every carrier because I know every carrier is going to carry it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Pixel, maybe Pixel's fold will start being on every carrier again. Like ATT, maybe they'll pick it up. They'll okay,
That's
maybe
still
folds are
so wild
lucrative.
to me.
Yeah. Um. So yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with the foldable market, like you said, especially as more players get into the ring. Speaking of more players getting into the ring, GoPro has announced a new line of mission cameras, which are two of the three are very much in line with their same ethos, the rugged small action camera. The
Hmm.
third one is the one that interested me the most, and the one that I'm like, I didn't expect you guys to ever go this route, is because it is an interchangeable lens system. So GoPro is very much, and I do have pictures of all three of
Uniform
them
body.
here. Yeah, it has that uniform body, like sure it has the bump out for different lenses,
Hmm.
but it's going to be a micro four thirds lens. I actually have one right here in front of me. So now I could theoretically slap this onto a GoPro. And it's like,
Really?
that's crazy. Like, this is one of my micro four thirds cinema lenses, and it's like,
Could it be bigger than the device?
that's so when I was talking with Jamie about it, we were like, oh, okay, maybe it's going to be a larger device. Doesn't sound like that's the case. Like
Yeah.
they're still saying this is going to be the world's smallest and lightest, most rugged cinema cameras. So I think what that means is you're going to be pretty limited in what type of lenses you can put on there. So like obviously you can see it off here to the right. They have a decent sized lens,
Right.
but I bet it's like you're looking straight ahead at it. So I bet if you turned it to its side, that it's still almost pancake like, where like some of those micro four thirds lenses, and that I think that's why they chose that one specifically. They're smaller lenses. Like, do I have another? I don't think I have one of my other smaller ones
But
nearby.
it say you can put any lens on it.
Yeah, it does. As long as it's micro four thirds, they claim that you can put any of them.
Oh, okay. So the technically, could the lens be heavier than the device?
Yes.
That's funny.
Now, to be
That's
fair, that actually does happen with some of the some of the other lenses
funny.
anyway, where your lens will be heavier than your device, but it's just the
This is
cameras are still have a
interesting.
little bit more weight than what a GoPro is gonna have.
I mean, I guess as long as you got a good chest strap, I guess, or whatever, or a helmet strap, I guess it's fine.
I also feel like those are probably for rigging into like cars or rigging into
Oh,
places
okay.
where you want to get that tight shot that you just can't fit a full size camera into. So
Mm.
I think the fact that they wanted to let you know that hey, these are going to be cinema cameras are letting you know like we're trying to put a whole new type of application to these.
So they're
Now,
trying to get used like like the apples will be like the Apple phones will get used in F1.
yeah, something similar to that probably. Yeah.
Something like
Um the we don't
these are
have
coming to need
pricing
for speed.
information. They did say that we'll get pricing information at NAB, which starts, I think, Sunday, because I think the first day is the 19th.
Mm.
So we'll get pricing very shortly. I think they just didn't want to put that into a press release where it's like, no, you will have all the chance to pick this apart. Come and see us in person at the booth so we can show you how good this camera is and what all it can do, and then we'll throw price at you. But the listed specs for everything that they're talking about all sound really good. Like it would be a really nice camera to have, especially like I said, the one that has the interchangeable lenses. Just because I already have a bunch of micro four thirds lenses, I wouldn't have to worry about getting into a new lens system.
You
So,
might, and maybe that's the selling point for a lot of people.
mhm.
Yeah.
And micro four thirds is very highly adaptable. So like a lot of times, even if you don't like, say if you have like a Canon lens, you can get an adapter that
Oh,
will
okay.
allow you to
Okay.
use it.
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting. I'm very curious about what this is going to look like and what's going to happen with it. I'm also very curious about the price because I think the most expensive GoPro right now is probably 500.
Hmm.
Let's see, the Hero 13 400. So 379 to be specific. I think is their flagship one.
Hmm.
You're probably I'm assuming this is going to be 800 900,
Hmm.
which isn't the worst. I look forward to seeing what they do with it.
Thinking of come with lenses, like
It'll probably come with
like
one.
two. Oh, okay.
Usually, like sometimes it'll come with like a kit lens. Uh, they'll probably have like some type of deal where you can buy like it'll be a little bit more. You buy a bundle for a second lens. I'm really curious if they're who they're partnering with lenses, or if they're going to say like, hey, these are specific lenses for like the GoPro lens, I guess is the way to put it. And you know, obviously you can use it with any other camera, but yeah, I'm interested. There's much to learn about this device still.
Yeah. Oh,
We
that could be
can
very
move.
useful.
It is. I think it is. We can move on. Have you heard about back button hijacking?
No. I
So
mean, I know
this
you can change. What? Yeah. Let me see what you mean.
this is from Google. Google's cracking down on that, and essentially what back button hijacking is say you go to a web page,
Hmm.
and then when you try to click back, it takes you to another page, or it may reload
Um.
that exact same page. And then if you hold the back button, you will see that in that one click, you've went to like a million different pages, and you can
Mm,
never get back to where you were expecting to. So Google is cracking down on that. They're going to essentially call that spam, and
yeah.
so they're going to hurt you in the search engine results. And the reason they said they're doing this is that they believe that user experience comes first. Back button hijacking interferes with the browser's functionality, breaks the expected user's journey, and results in user frustration.
It does.
So,
They're correct.
yeah, very much so. I will say, I think it's the wiki sites, like the fandom wiki sites,
Hmm.
that do it the most. And I
Hmm.
hate it. Like, there are so many times where, like, I want to just search up something quick online and that'll be a result.
Hmm.
Click into it, and then all of a sudden, Now I've went to a million different fandom wiki sites, and it's like, no, I went to this one specific page.
Yeah.
Why can't I go back to the search
A
results?
lot of these sites that do that, or if you click something, they'll take you to a whole different page. Or oh, bro, what is this? That's not what I
Mm-hmm.
clicked on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a lot of that going on. Um, I don't know. That's okay if they can fix that. That'd be great.
Yeah, so they
um,
said that official enforcement will start on June 15th. So this spam policy blog post went out on April 13th. So basically they're like, hey, you got 2 months to make sure your site is updated to not be doing this because
mhm.
we will be checking.
Okay.
And you know,
Yeah, you don't want to be you don't be blacklisted from Google search now.
I think Gemini was scraping some sites and got annoyed. I
Mm.
don't know. If we being honest.
Ah,
If we being honest.
you know what? Google's like, look, what is this?
That all those extra seconds, hold up, you ruining our scraping.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah. Mm.
So but I'll take the win here.
Yeah.
All right, this next topic, it's obviously our title topic. Trayvon, what does the shoe company know about AI?
Every company knows about AI apparently these days. So every
This
company.
is interesting though. So Allbirds, Allbirds, the shoe company,
What? Yeah. What are they using it for though?
they are an AI company now. So they are
What
pivoting
does
to
that
AI. He
mean?
said that they're going to pivot to the AI compute infrastructure with a long-term vision to become a fully integrated GPU as a service and AI native cloud solutions provider. Now, remind you, this is a shoe company.
So they're not doing shoes anymore?
I don't think so. Like, I think this is a full-on pivot to AI. I don't really. I ain't gonna hold you. When I first saw this, I thought it was a joke. I was like, dang, I must have accidentally saw an old April Fool's article. And no, it's actually them. They obviously their stock value raised tremendously. I think it was up at one point almost like 500%. Actually, the CNBC article says more than 800% at one point.
And then
So
it crashed.
yeah, of course it crashed because then people started asking the questions like, what the hell does a shoe company know about AI? Especially AI GPU as a service. What are we talking about here?
And it's
Like,
called Yes AI.
is it? I thought it was called Newbird AI.
Hold on, let me look at this. Okay, no, I see. Okay, okay, no, you're right. I see it. Selling this business for 39 million. Okay, so they sold it
Oh,
last month.
the company was sold.
Yeah, they sold it for 39 million last month.
That makes so much more sense. No article talked about that. That
Yeah.
makes so it's someone wanted that. I guess that
Name?
name, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like this is the dumbest thing ever. You bought a shoe company. Who did you really think was going to buy in and say, "Oh, okay, cool. We're going from shoes, not even just to technology, but we're going straight to AI." And it's like, what are we doing here?
Look at this right here. So this is weird too. So after agreeing to sell its assets last month for less than 1% of its previous 4 billion evaluation.
Oh yeah, its IPO was real because a lot of people really liked the shoes when they first came out. I remember when they actually first came out, they were supposed to be like super comfortable. They were all about like we are very environmentally sound. We care about the environment. Clearly, they don't care about the environment anymore because they went into AI. But it's
5 years of not getting a profit. That's
yes,
what happened.
that's
Yeah.
what happened. And
Mm,
someone said, "Hey, we can game the stock market, buy in, get basically do a pump and dump." That was my leading theory. The fact that you said they were sold, I guess that could lean some like this new buyer is like we're switching up everything.
yeah.
But it's just what are we doing? That's why I wanted to bring this up.
Yeah, so apparently they bought it for 39 million and gonna spend 50 to shift to AI. Okay. I okay. I, I I hope it was worth it. I don't know. I just some of the stuff is interesting, man. This is I don't know. AI is just getting thrown around so much at this point, where it's just like we just heard. I think we talked about was it last week?
Hmm.
We talked about the a lot of these planned data centers
Yeah, that was last week.
not
Up to
coming.
50% of the planned data centers for this year just not happening.
And it was like, where are we going with this?
But that's the thing. Wall Street still loves AI. And
Yeah,
I think it's evident from the fact of how much this stock just jumped. And it's like, we're not a financial podcast, but it's very insane to me that they were just like, AI, give me money. And for a time, the market was like, yeah, here you go. Like,
yeah. Uh, damn, I don't know. Yeah, like all it is, they just wanted the name, or I don't understand why didn't you just make a new? I don't know. If you call it Nuber AI anyway, why not
and
just
that's the
make
thing. Yeah,
that?
you could have just made that. And
You didn't need to take one and change it. Like,
I really think it was the fact that Allbirds one was already on the stock exchange.
mm,
So, hey, I don't have to worry about doing an IPO, doing all of that process. And two, I can quickly get in, blast this out to all of these people who are still Allbird customers. I basically have a built-in consumer base who hopefully one of these dumb idiots will bite. It's like I think for a moment in time, people were just like AI, we're in, and people started asking the real questions.
wow.
And the real question is, what does the shoe company know about doing AI, especially GPU as a service?
Oh, yes, it does get them talked about, but I mean, if this isn't ready though, we'll
Also,
forget
that
about it by the time
yeah,
it happens. Like we'll forget. Like if it takes y'all 6 months, 8 months from now, we're not thinking
mm-hmm.
about that shit no more. By the time that come up, like
Very true.
we got
And
too
then
much
it's
going on to think about that. Like
and then it's just like, okay, like you said, your first question was, so are they not doing shoes anymore?
yeah,
Like now the people who still do come to you for shoes are probably like, oh well, gotta find a new shoe provider. Like this is
wow,
just all around weird.
very, very, very weird. I don't know. Some choices are being made. I guess, like you said, maybe that is the point that because it's already built in, it's already a established company or whatever,
Hmm.
so they can just take it and rename it if you got the money for it. I guess.
Yeah, I think it's a little also like what Engadget said at the they titled their article, like the subtitle said, this is clearly the sign of a functioning and great economy. It's like clearly the sign. So, who knows what's going on there. Across the pond, the
Hold on, hold
EU.
on. There's
Oh,
nothing think about that. This kind of scares me.
yeah, let's
What if
go
this start
right back
happening
to it.
more?
I don't need it to happen more. I
Like what if
I
people
don't
start buying companies like this that aren't successful
and
and
just
just rename them to? Oh my god.
oh, I don't need that
I just
happening.
thought about that.
I
Like,
don't
oh my god,
I don't
I'm
need
thinking of other shoe companies right now in my head that aren't
I don't need that happening at
popular right now.
all.
Oh
Cause it's
god.
it's just so dumb. And it's like you said, you're probably not ready. So
Yeah.
you're just going out there on a whim and hope. And granted, that was very much what startup culture was for years. It felt
Yeah.
like where it's like,
Yeah.
hey, this is this grand idea we have. We know we can do it. We just need funding for it. And everybody was so thirsty to get in on the ground floor that they were like, all right, we'll give you money for it. Whether it happens or not, we'll come across that later.
You know,
But
I thought of a few in
not,
my head. I'm like, oh, they could do it to that one and that one.
I
Like,
don't
just
I don't need people to do this in mass. That's not
uh,
great.
yeah.
Like I said, across the pond, though, the EU wants Google to share its search data.
Yeah.
This
That's
is
never
another.
happened.
I think this is going on an ongoing saga. The EU has their Digital Markets Act, and compliance is due in July, and so we're starting to get more measures and details about what that is going to mean. And one of the things that they're saying to for Google to be fully compliant is that they need to permit services access to basically its search engine data. So they'll be able to see data points such as ranking, query, click, and view data on fair, reasonable, and non-discriminatory terms. We haven't
The
gotten
EU just over there just they're like they got a list and they checking it. They're like, we get everybody.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so interesting. Like we haven't gotten any word back from Google, but their vice
you
president
haven't.
for clean, just, and competitive transition says that data is a key input for online search and for developing new services, including AI. Access
Okay.
to this data should not be restricted in ways that could harm competition. In fast moving markets, small changes can quickly have a big impact. We would not allow practices that risk closing markets or limiting choices.
See, I don't know if how I feel about that. Like, I don't know. It's like that's the point of competition, right? Figure out how to do it yourself. Like, why are you trying to take Google's data and make it like we gonna take it and make your own search engine off of it? I don't know.
So
I just some of the stuff is
I don't
interesting.
think they necessarily mean for they could mean for another search engine. I have no idea. But I think it's because Google has become so ubiquitous with the internet
Yeah,
and they are so large
yeah.
that they are stifling competition because they're like again because they're so ubiquitous with search. We just talked about how they're about to basically
It's about to
rewrite.
get worse. It's about to get more. They about to be more enthralled. Like, come on now. Like,
But that's so I think that's their point. Like at some point you're not competition. You're just
the overlord.
yeah, and that's what you don't want. Like
I mean, I feel like they're already there. Honestly, like you said, when we think search, we think Google.
right. And
There
so
have been other ones in the past that like Yahoo and shit like that. We don't think about those anymore.
that is true. And
You
but
know.
that's their point. They want to break that. And I
Mm.
mean we've seen it before. Internet used to be Internet Explorer. It's not anymore. And there were reasons behind that. Microsoft used to do everything they could to make sure Internet Explorer was your thing. That was it. And they were forced to change that. So the EU is looking at that situation like that, and they're going, "We need to do this with search and with Google because they are too powerful." You
They
know,
are.
so
They are, but good luck, I guess, because that's crazy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Because like, okay, even if you get the data, and I feel like that's what all about making their own browser and making their own search engine. You do that stuff, they don't mean we're gonna use it.
I mean, people
But
in the EU might. That's
maybe. Well, I mean, if Google is petty, like, all right, we're gonna take our ass out of the EU. That'd be funny. Like they're like, you know what? Let's just take us out of the EU. Forget it.
the
Or
EU,
Apple just be like, we just gonna take our shit out of the EU. Y'all figure out what y'all got over there now without us.
and there's a chance that they could. And I think, but that's what they already are trying to make sure to prevent, right? Like that's why
Mm,
France is trying to do. We're going to go more open, so we're going to go Linux based.
mm-hmm.
We want to get away from these companies being able to say, "Hey, we have the power,
Yeah.
and you do what we say," rather than because they're all of their decisions are going to only be made in for, "Hey, what can make me more money?"
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in practice, because I'm not going to always say that it happens exactly, the government should be doing stuff for the betterment of society at large.
Should. Yeah.
So I think in this fight, I am like, look, what can you do to make sure that you're bettering society at large? And I know for a fact Google isn't the one that's doing it. Like, so I think that's where I sort of fall in this, but it's definitely going to be a long and drawn out fight for sure.
I just feel like most of this stuff is just I don't trust any of these companies like that. Like all of them want the money, all of them want the access, the power.
Mm-hmm.
None of them are like, oh, we're so selfless. No, you're not. None of these companies are that.
No,
I just, they want their money, they want their stock price to go up, they want all that. So to break Google up and I guess like take them down a peg. I mean, I guess that's the goal for this. I don't know. I remember like the thing they were talking about, like making Google break up. That's fine. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Like, making it not have Chrome and YouTube and everything else, under one. Sure, make them break them up into different companies. That's fine. But take the data away to make your own browser. I'm still gonna think of Chrome. I just don't know how beneficial that would be to you.
I mean, ain't gonna hold you. We'll see what the alternatives is. I use Firefox for the longest, so it
I did see.
I ain't loyal to a brand. I will say Black Magic except y'all. Da Vinci Resolve. I'm loyal to y'all.
Look at that. See?
That's only now until they start trying to they make practices that I'm like, oh, okay, I no longer align with. I have
Mhm.
fully committed to being like, oh, okay, this no longer aligns to what I like. I'm out. So oh CinemaCon, I didn't want to really because I know we both have podcasts that like we will talk more of the actuals of CinemaCon. So I want to talk more of the
Well,
text.
you do.
Well, oh my god. Well, you guys are gonna get back to it.
Uh-huh.
I mainly wanted to talk some of the more tech related stuff. Um, Disney announced a new premium live format. I think that's what do they call like the
Infinity
IMAX?
Vision.
But I'm saying like what is it like in general? Like what is it like the
It's
premium
basically
formats?
them putting
Yeah,
a stamp on Dolby theaters. I
yeah,
think that's basically what it's going to be.
yeah. So from their press release, they say it's going to have the largest screens for maximum scale, laser
Hmm.
projection for superior brightness and clarity, and
Hmm.
premium audio formats for fully immersed sound.
Hmm.
This is definitely their announcement to, oh, we didn't get the IMAX screens. We're gonna go home and do our own. And I, it, I guess in a sense, it makes sense. You know, like having something that is your films are directly tied to. I guess like
You know what
now
I would do to be petty if I was
what
them? So they're re-releasing Avengers Endgame
I saw that. I
in the fall or whatever, November, October, something like that.
think it's September actually.
And they should put that on IMAX screens. But I would also give a preview of Doomsday, and then I'll be petty, like, well, they didn't give us the screens, so y'all won't see it on this. Just to
That's
be just to
interesting.
be petty, just to I am that petty. I would I would do that. Like give you a
So
little so you can see it on IMAX, but we can't when it opens. You got Doom, you got Sand. I'll be
so
petty. That's how it would be.
they are so it is September. Actually, I found it kept reading. I guess I just
Mm,
stopped and turned away. So the re-release is September, and obviously that's when you're gonna first start being able to see the Infinity Vision. It's
mm-hmm,
on 75 screens across the country,
mm-hmm,
300 globally. I don't know if
mm-hmm.
that means 75 or
Dolby
370.
screens or IMAX? What is it? I wonder if IMAX is included in that.
I don't know.
Like
That's the thing. Yeah, it's my curious point is when they say 75 domestic, 300 global. Is that 375 overall global, or is it like, hey, it's 75 here in the US, 225 overall in the rest of the world for 300 global? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
they don't they don't specify.
They don't tell you
Um
which theaters, right?
no,
Not
actually
yet.
not yet. It just
Hmm.
because like I can't click on anything else. I can click on in game again. I think that's just gonna take me to Disney Plus to see it or something like that. But Um, I guess we have to stay tuned to learn more. But
Imagine that brand being on the screen when you're watching Doom.
Infinity Vision, I
Their
mean,
brand is under it, like their brand, or they hijack the, like the you remember what they did for Fantastic Four, where Fantastic Four had that like thing that took over the IMAX video.
oh yeah,
Remember?
yeah.
Maybe what if they do that for Infinity Vision? Like, so when you watch a Doom, the Infinity Vision thing comes up, and it's like, watch Doomsday. Like, it just be so funny. Oh my god, the penance that I would do. Like, I would, yeah. I was like, yeah, y'all, look at this. Y'all gonna watch some sand, some sandworms. But you could be watching.
I'm here for Dune 3. I don't know what to
I
tell
am
you.
too, but
It don't sound
I
like you
don't
are.
like it. I'm mad about it. I'm mad about this. I'm mad. I don't
I
like it.
mean,
I don't like it. I don't understand how. I don't understand how Avengers versus. I can't. There's not equivalent there to me. There's no equivalence. I just don't.
look. But now with this coming out, we don't know if Disney ever even tried. That's the thing. So like now the narrative of oh Disney lost the IMAX screens,
Hmm.
we don't know because they very much could have never tried because they were planning to come out with this.
They could have moved it up too if they wanted to.
And that's the
They could
thing.
have moved it if they
But
really,
that's
really
what leads
wanted
me to
to.
believe that they were just like, well, we want to come out with our own format where I'm sure you're collecting more of the money on this.
Hmm.
So it's like, eh, you know, I'm curious for the theaters, like you said, are any of these Infinity screens IMAX screens? What about the theaters that have an IMAX screen? Like, do they just not have an Infinity screen for that week? Is it the IMAX one going to supersede that? Like, those are the things that I'm curious about with it.
I was just curious how they're gonna use it, how they're gonna brand it, because are they going to like they're calling it Infinity Vision? Will it just be used in general on these screens? Like you know how Adobe has their little video they do too.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it's get ready to get started. It's always funny when they do that kind of branding inside. We're already here. We already know what screen we're in, but they
Right.
make sure to tell you this is Dolby Cinema. I'm like, okay, so are we gonna have an Infinity Vision video for that too? And
Right.
that'll play for every movie. Like, will it like not
Oh,
not just these?
yeah.
So I'm
No,
curious.
I mean, I'm very curious about it. I think it's one of those things where everybody just wants more money. They want to squeeze money out of the theater experience, especially if they're going to keep it going. And
But I'm seeing regular commercials on the screens now. I was like,
man,
I
when
was at Regal last week and I was like, wait a minute, that's a regular commercial. That's not even a
I saw a
trailer.
Ford commercial like 4 times, and I was like, "This has nothing to do with any." It was like a Ford F-150 commercial. And I'm like,
Yeah,
"What are we
and
doing here?" And
regular commercials.
it was during preview time because, like,
Yeah.
obviously they have the screen. Like, I
Oh
think
yeah.
one at IMAX is, or the one at Marcus here is called Screen Vision,
Hmm.
where it's like we do all of our local stuff. I guess is the best way to
Hmm.
put it, and all that. And I usually make sure I show up after that ends. So like we're full on in the previews, and
Yeah.
then in between the previews is
Oh
F
yeah.
150, and I'm like, what?
Yes.
What
Yes.
is this?
That's what Regal was doing that. I don't know if AMC does. AMC just have a lot of trailers.
Okay.
And then they have their little whatever video they make, like the Nicole Kidman one,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's another one. But Regal, like there was trailers, and then there was commercials, and then there was trailers. I said, wait up, what the?
Yep, that's exactly how Marcus Theaters is doing it, and they do their same similar video like you said to the Nicole Kidman one with Greg Marcus, who's
Okay,
the CEO. So
okay,
it
yeah, it's I don't know, and they said they're gonna start reducing it. The
mm,
AMC said they're gonna start reducing because it's like 30 minutes.
ooh, no, that's a
It's,
lot.
it's,
I think the Marcus Theaters one's probably like 15-20 minutes. It's still a
mm,
long time, but 30,
yeah.
yeah. And then the other thing out of CinemaCom, this is just personally strictly for me.
Hmm.
The real 3D people said that they're gonna start doing clip-on 3D glasses,
I like that. That's
which is
good.
really great because now I don't have to choose between being able to see or see or not see
Oh
the
my
3D.
god, that's crazy. Yeah.
Well, no, luckily, I will say, luckily, a lot of the places they have like at least the market theaters that I have, they have like larger 3D glasses, so they do fit
Oh,
over my glasses.
okay.
But I still just look crazy in the theater because I'm wearing 2 pairs of glasses
When the last time you watched something in 3D?
at years.
I haven't
If we
seen
being
anything in
honest.
3D since Avengers: Age of Ultron. That was the last time because I remember how bad that scene looked at the beginning of that movie with 3D. I said, "Yep, not doing this ever again."
I
I
ain't
was done.
gonna hold you.
I was done.
Let me see. When did this movie come out? 2010.
Okay.
The last movie I could think I really saw in 3D was the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie.
Okay. Okay. Oh wait. Oh,
Yeah,
that movie. Oh God. Yikes.
yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the last movie I saw in 3D.
Mm.
Because the
Yeah,
first Avatar, like the Blue People, that came out what, '09, right? That came out right before it.
I think so. Yeah.
I saw that in 3D. I haven't seen any of the other ones.
I think they're doing it was something they announced at CinemaCon. One of these movies is in 3D. Is it Spider Man? Spider Man
Oh,
Brand New
maybe.
Day? I think it's Spider Man Brand New Day. I think that's what I saw. I was like, oh, okay, good for them. I won't be seeing it that way, but good for them. It was like a list of them. It was like a little. They had like a little list of things. I think it was Disney that said it. Let me see.
It might have been Clash of the Titans. Now that I think about it, But either way, that also came out in 2010. So we talking a good solid 16 years that I have not seen a 3D film, and I'm probably gonna keep it that way if we being honest. I don't know, the 3D effects, they don't be feeling worth it to me.
Yeah, I don't like. I mean, the only reason I would like if I did go see it, it doesn't cost any difference. With A-list,
Hmm.
I can see any format. So if I wanted to see a 3D, I can. I just avoid them. I was like, yeah, it's okay. I'm all right. I maybe I try Dolby if they do like Dolby Cinema 3D, maybe. But usually 3D is just a regular, real 3D. Usually,
Hmm.
it's not. There's IMAX 3D. I've seen that.
I don't
Yeah,
think I've seen anything in IMAX 3D, but
that
yeah,
might be the old time.
Real 3D is the one that Marcus Theater uses a lot of the
Hmm.
time. So that's why I was excited to see the clip on glasses, because it's like, all right, cool. I know that you guys will have them, especially if I do end up going to see anything in 3D. But before we get out of here, I guess two quick topics. This Apple Pay without authentication thing was crazy. And for those of you who probably haven't seen it, because I don't think it's made like full rounds across the internet yet, essentially what happens, this is a video that MKBHD was featured in with. I wanted to go back to it because, like I said, I watched the full video. So I want
I
to get
didn't.
the.
I should have.
It
I
was
didn't watch
really,
it.
it was a really interesting video. I want to make sure I got the uh actual channels correctly. I should have pulled that up.
Should be right in the chat still, right?
Maybe, but if not, I can go to my watch history on YouTube real quick.
Let me see. Let's scroll up a little bit. It should be up here. I'm pretty sure I put the whole thing. Maybe not. I have the tweet. Let me go to the tweet.
Yeah, let me know if it's in there. But while you're looking for that, basically what happened is they utilized the transit card system on Apple phones.
Veritasium.
Yes. So they, like I said, they utilize the transit card system inside the phones. And when you have a Visa card attached to it, it strictly has to be a Visa card.
Mm,
They were able to basically trick it into thinking that whatever value amount was still a transit card. So it's simply, it's in when I was telling you that it was way more in depth than you would think from that quick short.
yeah.
So what it does is when you tap it, it first looks and say, "Hey, is this a transit module?"
Hmm.
So you have it had to go to its system to change basically from a one to a zero, like in this line of code. It
Hmm.
literally had to change it to from a zero to a one, because the one means yes, it is a transit
Yeah.
module. Then it goes, okay, cool. What's the amount? Is this a small amount? Is this a large amount? And that's the key right there, is both of those have to essentially be a one, because it has to be, yes, it's a transit module, yes, it's a small amount. Now, when the system is doing it normally, it obviously knows that, okay, yeah, sure, this might be a transit module, but oh, someone tried to charge it $10,000. That's not a small amount. So it had to then go back to the system again and go, oh yeah, we see that it's a large amount, but we're going to trick it into thinking that it's a small amount. So it's going to get,
Mm,
and so then it comes back. So that's where it was like, it's definitely worrisome. Visa should fix some stuff. Like,
yeah.
because when you look at it at the end of the day, it sounded as if Apple was doing what you would want it to do. Like they have
Yeah.
the Apple transit
The
card,
trans.
the same thing
Yeah.
with Google and everything. And the reason why this doesn't work with MasterCard is MasterCard went a step further beyond to say, well, we need to actually see the transaction details at the end of the day.
Okay.
So Visa kind of said, well, this doesn't happen often enough for us to really put the legwork in. Like, it's going to be really expensive to fix, and it just doesn't. It's not something that's going to happen large enough for us to really care about, essentially. And
Yeah.
it's
I
just like,
mean, it's
you're
true. I
probably
don't know.
right, but it's kind
Yeah.
of BS. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I have my like little Metro card on my thing for that. I
mm.
didn't. That
So
would scare me to put my actual card as a transit. That would scare me anyway. In general, like if it can tap on the terminal. and do that. I can tap with a lot of different shit. And I was like, I don't,
And
yeah,
that's essentially what the two researchers were saying who did this. They were like, we basically showed Apple and Visa, because they did first go to Apple, who then said, "Hey, that's a Visa thing."
yeah,
Um, but they were like, we showed that you could essentially be walking by somebody, they bump
right,
into you, and it taps right perfectly.
right,
Now you got this charge, and it was very crazy. Like it,
yeah.
watching the full video, obviously the short showed the process in general. It
Hmm.
was like, this is worrisome, bro. Like, what are
It
we
is.
doing?
It is. I don't know. I feel like I mean Apple is saying yes, it's a visa problem, but maybe you should safeguard it too. Like
So the
for
reason I
transit
think,
stuff, maybe not let you do 10,000. I don't know, like
well, so
something. I don't
that's
know.
the thing from Apple's point of
It
view.
still looks like a small amount.
Yeah, they don't see, and I think that probably doesn't ever touch their card, like touch
Right.
the phone, because when it comes back, it's looking at like, hey, this is $1.90 or $2.90 or whatever the,
Mm.
and it was weird. Like, I
So does
do
it
agree
bypass Apple's transaction history? 'Cause, you know, Apple usually has their own transaction history.
that I
Did it
did.
show up?
Let
Did they
me.
show that it showed up in the?
I
I'm
don't
wondering, like,
remember it saying that it showed up.
yeah.
Like, I don't
So,
think.
so
Granted, I
maybe
also
that
don't think you
bypass will go
could do.
straight to the card. Maybe
Yeah.
it doesn't. Like you know how when you use a card with Apple Pay
Hmm.
has its own transaction history for each card or
Yeah.
whatever. I wonder if it doesn't show.
Yeah,
Because
that's a
if it
good
doesn't,
point.
then that means they are going straight to the Visa card, then
That is a very
or
good point.
the Visa payment system or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, that is
So
interesting.
it's interesting. Stay safe out there. You know, scammers are gonna scam. Luckily, these are two researchers, so they're not trying to do anything nefarious with it. They did obviously didn't show any of the code or anything. And
They showed the screen a little bit. They did.
yeah, but you didn't see like
Some people are crafty.
some people are
You
crafty.
know, like I was like, oh, maybe not show any of that. Like,
But
but you know,
I think
yeah,
he showed the program itself, not necessarily the coding behind the program.
nah, yeah, I get,
So,
yeah,
like you said, some people are crafty. They can try to reverse engineer it, but it at the very least, they at least tried. And the fact that they did go to, like I said, Apple and Visa, they were trying to do the right thing.
right.
It just kind of sucks that both companies were kind of like, well, it's not my problem, or well, it don't happen that much, so we'll be fine. Like, that's kind of BS.
So it's not.
Yeah, till it's not. And then our last topic, I do agree with you. Let's pour one out for LG and their innovation. Um, this is coming from the fact that we just
Uh,
saw that LG rollable
it's
phone.
going. It's making the rounds on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah,
Quite a few people talking about it lately. I'm like, man,
and let me tell you, I would have got this. I would 100% got this phone. This is
cool. Like, yeah,
that's a form factor where you get the idea, you get the basic, like the benefits of a
yeah.
foldable, but I don't need a thicker phone, or I don't have to worry about it. I guess like well, you're still gonna get a crease. It looks kind of wavy,
Hmm.
but you know, it looks cooler. It looks more futuristic, and LG was good for that.
The only thing I kept looking at it was, the soft screen thing.
Yeah.
The screen is on the outside, and I'm just like, well, how durable is this? Like, if you put it in your pocket, it
Hmm.
gets scratched by something. What happens? That's the only thing I kept thinking about when I was looking at it. I was like, but the idea is so cool. Like, I've had so many LGs. Like, a majority of my first phones, I feel like, were LGs.
Yeah, I
So
had a good amount of LG phones as well. Like I said, I still I don't necessarily, obviously a lot of phones don't have any buttons anymore, but the LG G5, or I think it was just the LG G series in general, when they had the singular button on the back, I thought that was great because you did get the full screen, just full slab screen, and you still had the practicality of having the button. It was I especially because they had the fingerprint reader on it too, so that was how you could unlock stuff with it and everything. Like that was one of my favorite phones.
yeah, I listen. It was some great phones back then. Um, but yeah, I'm sad for them. Like, cause they had some great stuff. The phones I think about the most with LG was the NV. I remember I had the V, but I never had that one. I had the NV, and then I had the Voyager. Um,
Okay.
and I think it was the LG Droid. I think that was my first Android phone. I
Oh
want to say,
wow.
yeah. So yeah, they had a lot of good stuff. They had a good run. They had a great run.
They
Kind of sad.
did.
I don't want them to come back. To be
I
honest.
remember the LG rumor. Oh, that was their pre-smartphone days. That was when it was still, but it had the slide out keyboard. I used to love that. Like LG did they thing. It
Yeah,
would be nice to see them come back, pull like a
Motorola did it.
yeah, they got a new razor coming out this year.
Yeah.
And people are kind of excited about it. So LG, think about it. We could use some more competition, especially in the phone spaces.
No, it was. Hold on, what incredible? I can't remember what the phone was, but yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember the phones now. The LG
No,
ones I've had.
yeah, I was gonna say yeah. We could use some more, like I said, competition in the phone space. Everything is getting boring.
That was Motorola.
All the designs kind of starting to look the same. We need some new lifeblood to come and shake things up again.
Yeah, yeah. What was the wing? Right, the one that the screen swung around.
Yeah,
That was a great.
that one was crazy.
Oh my
That
god,
was when they were
yeah.
like, all right, we just trying stuff now.
Ah, yeah, good run. The chocolate. I remember the
I do
chocolate.
remember the chocolate.
Yeah. Ah,
Good old LG. But
yeah.
before we got
Life's
here,
good.
life was good. Life was definitely good. We could have had it all. You got anything else you wanted to talk about, or what you got coming up?
uh, no, just we got this show on Fridays, and maybe I'll pop in something else one day.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
but that's about it.
Oh boy. Oh
Yeah.
man. All right. Well, you can find me at DigD. I'll be streaming potentially later. I don't know. I gotta see what these storms are talking about, just in case if it get rough and I don't want the power to go out midstream.
Mm.
But if I do stream, keep notification on. I'll be playing more Star Wars Outlaws. I really enjoy this game. When I first started playing
Yeah.
it,
Okay.
it's so
Okay.
much fun.
Okay.
Um, so I'll be continuing with that. But if I do not stream today because of that, I'll just move it to tomorrow. And once again, it'll still be more Star Wars Outlaws before next week, and I start up with Mouse PI. But I have to show you. I have to show you the trailer. It looks it
Okay.
looks like a blast, Trayvon.
Okay. I was like, what?
Yep, I will. Oh, I'll show you the trailer. But until next time, people, peace out.
Peace.